right. Well, it is Friday. It is noon. And you know what that means. This is the Power to the People show live on WUFO and Facebook and YouTube. Our host, Darius Pridgen, will be with us shortly. And as he always does, you know we're live because there is talks of it a pending snowstorm. Well, we went a long time with a little bit, but they talking about this could be almost a foot of snow this weekend, which I really don't mind because it's also Super Bowl Sunday. So, good afternoon to Carolyn. I see you guys coming in on Facebook. So it's Super Bowl Sunday. You know, we don't really talk sports because I'm the sports guy. So we'll see. I know the Bills didn't make it, which is kind of sad, but this should be line up for a good game. Should line up. India Walton said, yay. Is that for Super Bowl Sunday or because of the snow or just that it's Friday and we are live? So we're here. A lot going on in government on all levels. Good afternoon, Jen. Oh, and the lake is not frozen, so we are going to get slammed. Yeah, that lake effect. You know, not being from Buffalo, I never heard the term lake effect snow until being here. So I really never knew what that term meant until my first winter, which happened to be Snowvember. And my story with Snowvember was I was working for a fire alarm company, and they sent me down Route 5 to Derby. And as you said, India, driving along the lake was terrible. So I get to this site. It's complete whiteout, and the business was closed. So I called my office, and I'm like, yeah, so they're closed. What do you want me to do? So they sent me to Tonawanda, which, of course, is back up Route 5 over the Skyway and down 190. So my whole road is against the lake. Well, it was the first time I think I've ever white-knuckled and prayed the whole time while driving. So, and then I get to this hotel in Tonawanda, and they are literally, I watched the news, and they say the Skyway is closed. Completely terrified, and I can understand because I was literally on the Skyway next to a tractor trailer, and I promise you, both of us were doing about 2 miles an hour. Completely scared, but it did teach me how to drive in snow in Buffalo. So that's what we're looking forward to. Giving the host a few more seconds to get situated. But hold on, let me turn your mic on.
Oh, so I wasn't even on. See how I did that?
It happens.
What were you talking? I was running late. I'll tell you why in a minute. But what were you talking about?
So I was just talking about the anticipation of what they're building up as like this first big snowstorm.
Oh, well, let me tell you. You know, I'm 56, so I got all these other stories about snowstorms and what real snowstorms look like. You know, when we used to go to school with 5 feet of snow and you had to tunnel through. That's a snowstorm. But I think Monique put it best the other day when it was really sunny outside.
Yeah.
And the news starts by saying, hey, bring my computer in my bag for me, please. The news starts by saying, it's sunny out, but it won't last for long. It's like they enjoy
the misery.
Just misery. I mean, this morning, I'm not going to tell you a story. I had a really sluggish start because the wind is blowing and there's no sun out, and it just seems like all the news is so gloom and doom. You know, we had like, some people had like 2 seconds of excitement after the election. You know, that was about it. and then it just went right back like, oh gosh. So it was a sluggish start. I probably got to have Felicia on or somebody to give me a mental tune-up here sooner or later. But, you know, when you turn on the news and they can't even enjoy a day of sunshine, like it's sun out, yes.
Never.
It's like, it's sun, but you just wait. A week from now, it's going to be cold again.
Yeah. It's just like this episode of Family Guy, which and it just aired. And so they bring on Peter Griffin, and he's on the news, and he has nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
So they're like, just say crime is bad. And so literally every time he gets on, it's like, crime is bad. The neighborhoods are all going to war. And they're like, but it's not true. And he's just like, so the anchor is like, well, bad news sells. So
yeah, and I mean, you know, I think since the new administration has taken place, they really just don't have any more juicy news. You know how you used to stay glued, and I'm glad that we don't have.
Glad.
But you stay glued into CNN because he was going to tweet something or do something, and Uncle Biden is just like, no, I'm slow and steady as she goes, and I'm just going to keep this ship running, and I'm not complaining about it. Hey, Bernadette and Jen, everybody who's on the Facebook feed. Again, I don't know how to share, and we've been trying to do it, and it has just been almost impossible, the impossible dream on Facebook now. I want to talk a few things. I'm on this. I want to go back. I know we talk about it, but I got to keep talking about COVID because I just left a meeting, virtual meeting, of course, with the Western New York delegation that I'm on for the equitable distribution of the vaccine, and also on the state board. So I just kind of want to update people because we've even had people call True Bethel and some were kind of angry with us that we couldn't go buy the vaccine. I want to explain to everybody why can't True Bethel do it. Listen. This is not a local decision. This is not, although I'm even on the task force and on the education committee for this vaccine, this is run by the state of New York as it is receiving doses through the federal government. So I need people, instead of going all the way around the world, and if you don't know something, I'm trying to educate you. At the end of the day, even though I'm on the task force, it still is the state of New York that is making the decisions. And the biggest problem right now is the amount of vaccines that are available. Mm-hmm. So today I was really, you know, sometimes I get on these calls and I just go like, oh my gosh, because we're just fighting with each other. But today was probably one of the best calls for the Western New York, for the Western New York area. And we're being headed up by president of the NAACP, a pastor in Lackawanna, Mark Blue. But it's Cattaraugus County, Chautauqua County, Erie County, Niagara County. And today to hear the healthcare providers, the local healthcare providers, like Dr. Vasquez and others say, listen, Reverend Nichols, who has been a part of that coalition, listen, we don't like how this is rolling out. However, now this is important, folks, we're not going to take our ball and run. We're going to work with, we're going to figure this thing out together. And yesterday, there was a very impressive turnout. And people, remember before, people were afraid to get the vaccine and saying they're not going to get it. Well, that's not the problem now. The list is long of people who are saying they will they want the vaccination. The problem is not getting the people in anymore. The problem is the amount of doses that are being sent to the state of New York. Brenda McDuffie said something very interesting today on the call, because when we talk about equity, and I've taught this before, it's not about equal. It's not about let's send 10,000 doses to the suburbs and send 10,000 to the city. That's not that's equal. But because we're already starting out behind, equity says you have to give more to a certain area because they have received less health care. They're dying at higher numbers. So we can't be afraid to say we need more of the vaccine for those who want it. Because once it starts hitting these pharmacies and all that, it can't be equal. It has to be equitable.
Right.
Which means you bring me up to where I should be. Not you give me the same amount of doses. So for me right now, the fight has to be for equity, not equality. Equity. Are y'all listening to me? It has to be for equity so that these areas that already suffer from not having healthy food, not because they don't want healthy food, because there's a healthy food desert in certain communities. The healthy food situation, the lack of health care, all of these things that we know that continue to lend to us being one of the most affected populations with this virus. And make no mistakes, people are still dying from this virus. And so our fight right now is to work together in order to get as many doses into this area as possible. Mm-hmm. As many we can get. I know that, and I want to commend the Niagara Falls, and I think her name is Dr. Ward, out in Niagara Falls. And I know that Craig has been involved in others, but they gave a presentation today. And it was one of the most impressive because then it's in Niagara Falls, it's not just you just sign up and it's about who you know and all that. No, in Niagara Falls, they have literally, and this is what I said to Craig Pridgen when we were asked to be involved, it must be by the science, must be by the numbers. They have literally looked at the zip codes, looked at the demographics, and then after they put together their huge list, the ministers put in lists, the healthcare people put in lists. This is how you work together. The housing authority put in lists. All of them put in a list. And then what they did, they took the list, according to Dr. Ward, and then they did what they call something called ethical elimination, where they looked and said, who's the most vulnerable on this list?
Wow.
Who needs this the most? And then they prioritized it.
That's impressive.
That's impressive. And this is the type of work as the state just allows communities. And I think by sharing that information so that we as communities can do better. Because I admit these first couple of weeks have been horrible. But we got to get the vaccine into people's arms. And so I commend everybody. It's easy to criticize, but it takes effort. And you got to think about this to say thank you. And I want to say thank you to our government, to the governor, who is they're receiving the doses. Do I think that this process is perfect? Hegs no. I'd be telling a story if I told you it was. But am I thankful for the volunteers who are on these meetings, who are meeting and working together? And today's statement from George Nichols, from Pastor Nichols, and from others, from Dr. Vasquez, who said, we don't like how it's rolling out, but we're not going anywhere. That's what I feel is real working together. I was asked a question today, even today, about the relationship between the council and the mayor, and I said there is I got ready to use the word healthy, but I took it back, and I said there is something to the effect, a productive tension that should be there. When you talk about two different governments, people do not elect people to be rubber stamps. They want you to ask the questions. They want you to do the investigations. They want you to set policy, and that doesn't mean we're always going to agree. But if you look at something like, and I know I'm all over the place, but my point is about how even when you don't agree, you got to work together to produce for the people, because at the end of the day, my job is to produce for the people, not to produce for an administration. So at the end of the day, if there's a healthy tension, but we get something done, school camps, we ask for them to be paused. I jokingly say to the administration, when they say they gave a grace period, I said, okay, you call it whatever you want to, tomato. But we took care of the needs of the people. And that, at the end of the day, is what's most important. And so even with this rollout of the vaccine, it is, we come on, none of us have been in this position before. None of us have had to deal with a pandemic. Not one of us have had to do this.
Unless you're about 115 years old.
You got it. Right, exactly. When so how many people in Buffalo are 115?
Right.
So at the end of the day, from the state level to the county level, and as I've seen, the county executive is a little, upset. And that's okay. Like, it doesn't mean then that the county executive is not going to talk to the governor anymore and the governor is not going to talk to the county executive. No. There is frustration almost in every front after this pandemic. There's frustration in families. There's frustration in churches. There's frustration in governments. There's frustration everywhere, probably every job you all work on. If you see them face to face, there's some frustration, and even if you're not. So at the end of the day, I want to bring this information to you so you get it firsthand, that your leaders in this city are working hard in order to get these vaccines in the people's arms, but equitably, so that those zip codes that are suffering the most, the people who are suffering the most, are able to get the vaccine, who want it, because some people don't want it, but they're able to get the vaccine in their arms. Arthur Weathersby, the author, Arthur Weathersby, is on Facebook, says, good afternoon, Bishop Pridgen. Please bless you and your efforts keep the citizenry of Buffalo and Western New York as a whole informed. Thank you, Art. So I think that, remember in the beginning, everybody was like, I ain't getting it. And now now you don't have to educate people. Some people have a hesitancy.
Right.
And you have, I take that back. You still have to educate people because there's some people who have a hesitancy. But I think what has surprised most of us is that you have so many people who want to get the vaccine. Arlie Daniels is on. He says, thank you sincerely for explaining the importance of separation when it comes to obligation and principle to do what's right for the citizens of this great city. And that's I don't want to get too far on this, but I do think it's important that people know that, for instance, all of these governments are set up individually. Federal government, state government, the county government. We got a lot of government. City government set up individually. And, my philosophy in being elected has always been, when you say, well, how are things going? It's not about how I feel things are going. It's about how the people feel things are going. And when you're connected to the people and you stay connected and you listen, even you might not agree on something. I had a guy call me about this open container law. Yep. I want to know what some of you all think about this. So there is a push by some to get rid of the open container law, which basically says you can't be walking around drinking outside. He feels that it is unfair to minority communities. It brings more police contact. Of course, many in law enforcement feel that it should be. I think that maybe some neighborhood groups may feel that we should still have an open container law. I don't know. I want to hear from you all. But what I said to him, because he was surprised I called him back, and he says, wow, you called me back. And I said, absolutely. I said, I at one point may not agree with you. And I don't know. I need to hear from the people. But what I won't ever be accused of is not listening. For real, opening my ears to hear. And so I said to him, you're going to have to get more advocacy. You're going to have to prove of why you think this is important and how it affects people. So India says, okay, let's talk about who gets arrested for this. So this is the kind of discussion we have to be open for. So y'all talk to me. What do you feel? And if you're not familiar, basically, and you all know this, you can't walk down the street um, with with your scotch and with no Hennessy, right? Well, he's saying let's do like New Orleans. In New Orleans, you can go into a bar or a restaurant and you can go outside with your container and drink all you want to. Matter of fact, they sell these big containers that these big long bottles that you just walk around. People walk around with a straw. St. Patty's Day, and I'm reading from Facebook, people walk around with open containers with impunity while others who look like me go to jail. Brenda Plowden says, can you explain pop-up sites and how people are selected? Okay, hey, and you know what? I really did want to be in a back and forth discussion today. I really did. So you can ask me on Facebook different questions that if I know them, I'm going to answer you. Let me go to that. That has always been a concern about St. Patrick's Day. The city, I know, has been more aggressive, and I should say the administration has been more aggressive in saying this won't be tolerated. But we know that there's a problem on certain holidays about it. So my question is, do you think that the open container law has run its course? That's what I want to know. Do you think it has run its course? Bruce Burton. Oh, David Allen says, not going to happen. Why, David? Why? Come on, talk back to me. Bruce Burton says, unfortunately, some law enforcement agencies will use this law to their advantage. Well, no, there is a law now. Right. So are you saying that you feel that law enforcement utilizes the open container law? There is a law right now about open containers. You cannot be outside with an open container with alcohol. I wish I should have pulled up the exact thing, but I didn't.
Yeah, give me. I think I can.
Oh, you looking it up? Okay.
But my India puts, and with the pandemic, and we want people not to gather indoors. This does not mean like you can walk down in your paper bag, but in entertainment districts, it makes sense.
Okay, so I want to hear from you. Marie Collins says, so get drunk while you're walking, then get hit by a car. I'm just saying. Arthur says, look at it from the logic of having such a law. It would minimize the possibility of public intoxication, and which has their
propensity for encouraging illegal activities and lawlessness.
All right, so the comments are coming in. What do you think? What do you think? Has the open container law run its course? There was a question here on Facebook about the pop-ups and how you register. That has been, let me see who asked that question. I'm going back to answer your question. Oh, gosh, I'm sorry. Because I wanted to address the person, make sure I was answering.
It was
Do you see
Brenda Plowden.
What did she, you got it in front of you?
Can you explain pop-up sites and how people are selected?
So this is where what we've been meeting about. There are some pop-up sites. All the pop-up sites are not the choice of our committee. Our committee is talking about how we make sure that they're in the right communities. I have been pushing for ensuring that when you have a pop-up, that the local neighborhood where that pop-up is, the pop-up should be in areas where there is areas where there is disparity, where you have had low health care, where you have poverty, where you have people of color, right? That's the equitable part. So when it first rolled out, the first pop-up was not really, we didn't even know about it. We were told about it on the news. So we don't know how that first one was distributed because it came straight from the state. The one yesterday at the Bell Center, it was people from that area. And somehow Dr. Vasquez and his team are working with the Bell Center and other community partners, identified people and then called people who were on certain lists. And the question is, how do you get on those lists? There is a New York State website. I want to be very transparent because I'm not on their payroll. I want to be transparent. It is very difficult to understand how to get on the list. So when True Bethel was asked in Niagara Falls, and there's not enough vaccines to go around there, I was very clear that I wanted people canvassed in that area and working with community healthcare, Carla and Dr. Ansari, who they would know who are the most vulnerable people, so that it's not just a come and stand in line like they did in Florida. So they're working through that right now, because I just think there should be one main list. And when a pop-up comes in that area, that's where you call. Right now, it is by site. And one of the things when I got involved is I don't want to make that choice. I don't have the expertise to make that choice. And so that's being worked through. And that has been one of the biggest problems or concerns of people from the beginning. Let me go back to the Facebook comments. Faye Hemphill, and I think she's talking about the open container, says, I've seen plenty of dudes get their heads busted open from bottles inside the club. Wow. So I would hate to see the after clubs. After club scene. Yep. So Faye seems to be against a repeal of the open container law because of the violence, it seems that what she's saying, that it would bring. Pastor Bruce Burton says they use the law when they want to. That's all laws. What were you about to say?
So I was getting ready to say, so I pulled up the information that was submitted to the council. 2 letters, one from Partnership for the Public Good and one from the gentleman that you spoke to. So the data, going back to India's point that they reported, was between January 1st, 2018 and December 31st, 2019. 39 people were detained in the city of Buffalo in relation to alleged open container violations. Of this number, 32 were black. Most of the occurrences happened east of Main Street in neighborhoods including Broadway, Fillmore, Genesee, Moselle, Grider, and MLK Park.
So the inequity of this, is it the question of the inequity or the question of the law? Because probably if we look at most, and that's why we're now asking for data that says how many people of color are being stopped and how many people. So here's the question, just throwing it out there for discussion. Do we get rid of every law that is unevenly enforced, or do we ensure that the laws are not unevenly enforced? Let me ask it again. Let me ask it again. Because the argument, and I'm just throwing it out there, it's a radio show, this for discussion. If we got rid of every law that was unequally enforced, instead of changing the mindset of those who enforce it and looking at the data to ensure that it is not unequally enforced, or do we get rid of the law? Now I'm waiting for some comment here. That's my question. Because when we found speeding was unequally enforced, right? Mm-hmm. We didn't say we're going to get rid of speed. That you could
practice.
You changed the practice. That's my question. That's just, I ain't saying either way. I just want to know. Let's see. Come on. Yes, we fix it, says David Allen. Arthur says, if I was living back in my hometown, I would enjoy the opportunity to speak and to provide assistance with the issues. Bruce says, ensure that they are not unequally enforced. India, it's not the inequity only, it's an archaic law. Okay, so that's where what makes it archaic? That's my question. Because I think sometimes people want to make changes but don't really know what the results of those changes would be totally. So that's why I want to hear what makes it archaic? What makes you say it should stay or it should go? All right. The comments are coming in. Go ahead.
I think one of the other questions to ask, honestly, in India, put it in one of it. Are we just talking about an open repeal, Or are we going to do this like in restrictive zones, like the entertainment districts?
So
or
so what if it wasn't just the entertainment district? Oh, the entertainment district would love it.
Right, of course they would. But and maybe it's the conservative side. I have some weariness about it because then, like I said, then does every Friday, Saturday night and major event turn into Mardi Gras and just in the middle of the street? Or is there, I think you still have to construct it a certain way if you want to repeal. And that's my thought.
All right. When I say the comments are coming in, they're coming in. Marie Collins says, keep the laws that best fit the situation. LaCandice says, we equally enforce the law. Deuce Green says, it's easier to change the laws than it is to change the mind. It's a good point. But Deuce, then do we change do we just forever allow the minds to stay? Because I think, over this pandemic, all I've heard is science. Let's look at the science. Let's look at the data. Let's look at the data. And I think that is important. And I think that when we're looking at this law or any other law, we have to look at the data. And I think there are times that we can't change minds because we're not looking at the data. You just can't go and say, I think you all are enforcing, I don't know, jaywalking more on this side than the other side of Main Street without having the data. Once you get the data, now it's not, I think, I know.
Right.
And I want to know why. And that needs to stop because there are people who are jaywalking on the other side of Main Street. But there is a bias. And we all know that. And anybody who says there's not a bias, come on. In the minds of certain people, when they say people of color do something and when they see others do it. Mm-hmm. Now, y'all know that. Now, let's not play. It is.
And I'll be honest because I was in a St. Patrick's Day parade here. Mm-hmm. And when I was with another office. Mm-hmm. And we literally had a pickup truck full of alcoholic beverage driving in front of us with coolers stacked, the whole flatbed. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't just the people walking in the parade, like consuming. We were walking by police officers. Yep. And police officers like, hey, throw me one of those. And so, like, I do agree, like, there's times. Then
why wouldn't we enforce the law that is there? Because to me, that's the. And again, I'm not weighing in on whether I believe there should be open container or not. I'm listening so that I can make a best decision where I feel it's best for people. But if there's a law that is not being enforced across the board, whether it's that or anything else, there should be a concentration because there's a reason for laws. There's a reason for order. There's a reason for government. The government's main purpose is so that a city does not collapse. It does not explode. Absolutely. All right, let me go back to these comments. They are coming in. Valerie Allen says, I would hate to be at the park with my grands and people are getting drunk. Well, they do that anyway. But I understand what she's saying. Joshua Hutchins is on. Hey, Josh, we would be making sure laws are being properly enforced, not just do away with them. Bruce says the law is still relevant. Okay. Daniel Dorinda was commissioner. He said that it's best to remove discretion from the equation. Valerie, I think people shouldn't be allowed to drink or smoke in public.
Which might bring that argument back.
What's that?
That if you repeal open container, then do people say, well, I should be allowed to smoke?
Well, open container and smoking to me is a lot different in that what you putting in your body is what you putting in your body with an open container. It doesn't affect me. The reason I don't agree with smoking in public around other people, and you all know I was the one who did the legislation to get rid of smoking in city parks. I was the one who supported Roswell and the medical campus request not to be able to smoke even outside in those areas. And the reason is because when I walk through or somebody walks through, they have to inhale your secondhand smoke, which is dangerous. Now, if you want to put whatever you're going to put in your body. So that's why I think those two arguments are totally different. I know that certain people in the entertainment district would want this to occur. I think one of the other, just giving a balanced view, things about this is that then people go from bar to bar. When you're in one bar, a bartender has a responsibility to observe, make sure he's not over serving you, red flag you. If I'm able to just take my drink outside, somebody else is able to take it outside. Somebody's got to monitor to make sure that minors are not getting the alcohol. It's a whole different level than when you're talking about being inside a bar or being inside your private home. That when you open this up, I can promise you there will be some block club people who are going, and this is what the point I made to the gentleman, but I'm willing to listen. That's my point. That was the whole point of this discussion. It really wasn't even to talk about this, but that in government, you have to be willing to listen to people through and first seek to understand, then be understood. But what I said to him, I said, I know there's going to be some block club people who have those pocket parks around and all that. And they're going to be like, I don't want open container. And look, we get complaints right now from William Street, when that little, the medium. When there was a chairs out there. And now I think they removed the chairs or they did some, but people are still camping out, drinking. And I get the people across the street saying, this is a shame. It's open container law. They shouldn't be out there drinking. They don't mind them sitting. They don't want them drinking. So you and this is in the black community. This is not elitists saying what they don't want. This is people in the black community who was like, listen, I paid for my house. I don't want people outside of my house drinking and walking around. So there is a balancing act to every piece of legislation.
Yeah. And like you said, you got communities that when they walk out their house, they see the empty bottles of Hennessy
I see it right now.
Right. So you already see it. So now if I can openly walk down the street with it, am I now putting basically more trash into my street and my park? So it is a difficult situation.
Well, we don't have open container law right now. And, we have an open container law right now, and I still got to pick up. Listen, If y'all ride past my house and y'all see these little bottles outside, I don't know if people just walking down the street and just take them a swig out their little Henny bottle and just throw it on the ground or what. But they all over the place. Is that Taria Joyner? Says, no, I don't think we get rid of the law, but they need more training on how to deal with problems. Adjustments have to be made. Yeah, I hear you, Taria. It was in the paper yesterday that one suburban police force now is ordering 50 some hours of training, ordering it of officers a year. Now I don't know what kind of training they're getting, but at the end of the day, 50 some hours. I've been an advocate for training, but the right kind of training that directly addresses bias, directly address it. And not just you need to enforce more over here, enforce more of it. But if it's the law, it needs to apply to everyone. And you shouldn't, and probably everybody in this room does it. You shouldn't look at somebody's skin and make a judgment call. You can in your head, but not with your power.
Right.
I can think what I want to in my head, but if I utilize my power if I then turn that into power, there's a problem. Mm-hmm. And that's where the problem, I think, lies. Arthur, minds need to be changed in order for laws to mean something for people. Stephanie, knowledge is power. India, because it doesn't apply to white people, she says. Like Candace Durham, you shouldn't walk around residential neighborhoods with alcohol in your hand. Entertainment district, she says, I understand. Just don't drink and drive. Equally enforce the laws in every district and, of course, use discretion. Candace sounds like she's going to be a lawmaker. Joshua Hutchin, they would never let us drink at Juneteenth like they do at St. Pat. Now, this has been a what?
I guess I could agree, but we've all been through Juneteenth, Pine Grill, and maybe not one of them. The one that I think it's Mass and Jazz. They're not as bad, but the Pine Grill at Juneteenth, people out there drunk. Like we out there drunk and partying.
No, we not. We not.
Like,
Oh,
no,
you
no,
mean?
no.
Oh, yeah.
I mean us.
I don't want nobody talking about.
Right.
Mark talking about we. He didn't play that over. You hear what he said? We out there drunk. No, nope.
Our community is out there having fun. So like, and now unless you're telling me that there was 30 police arrests at the last Juneteenth festival and Pine Grill and everything else, then I'm like, all right, if the police is enforcing the open container at our festivals, but not St. Patty's Day, then I can see that argument.
Mm-hmm.
But like being out there every year since I've been here, I haven't seen police.
But do you think he's talking about because Juneteenth is a parade? He's talking about has a parade. And even when you bring up about like the trucks and all that,
yeah,
it's one of the parades. But let me say this, even other parades are not allowed to do certain things. And I think one of the focus has to be if there is inequity there, right, that needs to be addressed. And we're in a time when we can have these conversations, or we should be.
Well, I agree with that.
Deuce says, truth about having data, I say if we properly punish the abuse of power by those who wield it, then whether we change their minds or not, I agree with him. The consequences of that abuse would make them think twice. I totally, 100% agree with him on that.
Hence why we did Carrier's Law. To make you think. Yep.
Now, there was an officer recently, I think it was Ohio, who they've just charged, put off the force. He shot the guy who had a cell phone in his hand.
Yep.
You saw that? So I do think, and so now you have people saying, well, that's why you got crime now, because no, I don't agree. I don't attribute that there's a rise in homicides because of new attention to police behavior.
Yeah, that did.
I don't agree with that, because at the end of the day, if we all can admit that there's some behavior that's wrong, we shouldn't just let it be. No. But I do believe, and I want to say this for the 100,000th time, don't paint every police officer with the same brush, because we have some good police officers out there. Mm-hmm. We're talking about the ones who abuse power. So that needs to, I always say that. But at the end of the day, I do believe that there are some out there who have abused power who got to think about it now. So that's why I agree with Deuce. They got to think about it, because it could mean their livelihood. It could mean their pension. It could mean them being arrested for the abuse of power. And that's what we're talking about, the abuse of power, not the use of power, the abuse of power.
Right.
Arlie Daniels, I just believe that open containers is, what are you saying?
Inviting public intoxication.
Mm-hmm.
What you do on your porch or in the direct vicinity of your home, that's not being a nuisance to your neighbors, should be tolerated. Going back to the St. Patty's Day issue, those days should be excused as it relates to all ethnicities and areas with valid permits for that event. Doing away with the open container law will only help to create lawlessness and public intoxication, along with other things like urination in public. We just have to use discretion. And policing, especially without warning those who are in violation of the law.
What do you think about him? See, I don't think it should be an ethnic thing. I think if the law is tweaked or amended, that, let's say, okay, I'll give you an example. You go to the Erie County Fair. Mm-hmm. You can, I guess you can drink outside here too at a restaurant, right? If there's an outside table. Yep. So if it is a certain area, but it's a big area at the fair, that people are drinking, the beer tent, all that kind of stuff. So it sounds like he's talking about a permit in order to be able to do those things, and then you have the rules for that.
Well, when I was reading it, I was thinking about how we did the restrictive use permit for the entertainment district.
Yeah.
So I don't think, me personally, I wouldn't be opposed to, like you said, when people are applying for a special event permit, another box that says the permission to have.
So do you think, let's say like the festivals that happen or celebrations or concerts that happen in MLK, right?
Yep.
That if there is a process set up for a permit, see, I'd rather for there to be a process set up for a permit, like Arlie's saying, right?
Yep.
So that you then have some rules to go along with that.
I agree.
Now, you as the permit holder, you have to be responsible to make sure that minors are not drinking at your event.
Yep.
You have to be responsible that there is not public intoxication or urination at your event in order to maintain, because I'm feeling something here, in order to get a permit again. You have to show you're responsible, and that whether you have to have security at that event, whatever it is, could be laid out in that process. Now, that's an interesting thought.
I do like that way of doing it, and then like I said, because I think even on a special use not special event, when you are having a public event, if you say the amount of people, you have to either request police presence or provide, what is your security plan. I think you add that piece along with it. And if you are going to allow open containers, I think that needs to also increase the number of your security or
right, definitely
as well. So I do kind of like that method.
And then there isn't the argument of St. Patrick's Day and Juneteenth, and right. Here are the rules. And you got to follow the rules, and if you break the rules or you don't follow them, I'm going to mispronounce this name, so I'll say the initials B and R because I'm going to mess it up. Rollins, I think, says there, and the people are liking this on Facebook, there are already too many empty containers lining our streets, tossed from cars and by pedestrians. This would increase unsightly litter. By the way, if you don't know, we're also live on Power to the People Show on Facebook. Marie Collins says, and then their clothes gonna smell like weed. You just passed it through. Where did weed come up? Is that in the conversation?
About smoking in buildings as well.
Oh, but we wasn't talking about smoking weed though.
Yeah, I wasn't talking about that.
Marie, where you at? You talking about weed? We talking about Cools and Newports.
Now, when it gets legal, then for adult use, then that's another conversation.
No, when if marijuana is authorized for recreational use by adults, it should have to follow the same laws.
No, I agree.
Oh yeah, of those who smoke cigarettes.
I was saying she
more laws though, because you shouldn't be able. You shouldn't be able to smoke. Now you can smoke a cigarette and drive a car, except if children are in it. You shouldn't be hotboxing driving. Come on now. You should not. It's dangerous. You start seeing stuff.
I don't know.
That's what they tell me. Get into what Marie says, get into a fight on the street. They already have a weapon in their hand.
With the bottle.
Oh, with the bottle. And okay, so what if it was open container and it's not glass? And I'm only, folks, let me say it again. I'm here for the discussion. I'm here to listen. That's all I'm doing. The gentleman didn't even believe, and he was kind. I'm not painting him in a bad light. He was very kind. But he just didn't believe I'd even had a conversation. I've said this from the beginning. I'm put here to bring power to the people, not power to Pridgen. Faye Hemphill says, I'm reading a book called White Fragility. Mm-hmm. Great read. Should be a part of diversity training. Faye, give me some, give me some points in that whenever you want to. Carolyn Lane, in my neighborhood, I pick up bottles all the time. It's terrible. So, Carolyn, what's your thought? And maybe you already gave me your thought. The feed is so long right now of comments. But I pick up stuff. Some days, I ain't going to tell you no story. I get so tired of picking up other people's junk. Some days, I leave it there. Because I get tired of you come home and I get tired of watching people, and I keep telling y'all, turn these people in and get your money. That ain't snitching. That's keeping your community up. Get your money. The city will pay you when they pay their fine. At the end of the day, I'm tired of seeing people drive down the street and just throw a bag of their fast food out the window.
Or whatever it is.
Or whatever it is. I told you, if I had another job, one of my jobs would be just litter police. I want to be a litter police officer. Just ride around, catch you. Then and it ain't gonna be. It's gonna be equitable because it's all kinds of people I see throwing stuff out. It's going back to Daniel. Dorinda was totally wrong if he said this. It's a must. Dorinda's point was that bias is implicit. Police need clear policies. I agree. When they use discretion, they tend to be more punitive to black people. I think that's even not just police. I think it's most people who have power. You know, what we just found out from a study, I believe commissioned by the governor of the state of New York, is that redlining is continuing, folks. I was on a news station yesterday. And the reports of when you look at the east side of Buffalo and how many mortgages, and they're really concentrating on the non-banks that give mortgages. In other words, where you can't go and put a deposit, where you can't go and get a savings account, or it's, stuff like Quicken Loans, and those places are places that are non-bank mortgage lenders. And I'm not picking them out, by the way, because I didn't see their name in the report. But the point is, they're still redlining. So that implicit bias, I believe, continues. And I believe that many ethnicities have benefited from it, but who has not is still people of color. Arthur says absolutely not. That wouldn't explain the homicides that have occurred in Chicago and Philadelphia. To make it plain, I'm talking about black-on-black killings and homicides. And he says his comment was about the cause and rise of crimes. Stephanie Molson on Facebook says, like the taste of buffalo. So again, it's back to this permit stuff, because they have to have permission to do that. And I wonder if our local festivals, they've got to have some type of permit.
They probably just get a liquor license, like a temporary liquor license or something. Yeah, because you can get a liquor license for the event.
For the event, right?
Yep.
Valerie Allen, I have to put people out of my car with a gum wrapper, who threw a gum wrapper out. Oh, I'm not going to say who, but one of my dear friends when we were younger, I forgot what he had. I had a piece of candy or something, and rolled down my window and went to, I said, hey, what you doing? And they said, see, I didn't give no pronouns. They said, what? I'm getting rid of this rap. I'm like, not out of here. Not out of here. That's one of my pet peeves. Just people who come into communities or live in communities and just don't care. Just don't care. Litter is a whole separate issue. Should we ban coffee too? What about chips? Yeah. No, I ain't saying ban them. I'm saying, people are saying that if you got the open container and you finish drinking it, but I get your argument. I say enforce the littering laws is what I say. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the report made my head explode. Yeah. How long has housing advocates been saying redlining was still an issue? Oh, yeah. But here's the problem. That's why you got to see the numbers. Because, in the past, if you mention stuff like redlining and we had a local bank that was fined for it. Mm-hmm. Then it's like, no, you playing the race card. I'm so glad that little phrase is kind of taking a nap, because now you can talk about it, because now we're getting the numbers and the proof. So true. Hey, Jay. So at the end of the day, I just came for the comments. I'm just here for the comments. See, to me, this is good government. Is when you listen, you come up with solutions, and you're not so closed-minded based on your own personal beliefs. I have my own personal beliefs, and I get to share those personal beliefs. And are they a part of my decision making? Absolutely. But when you listen to people and you open up and you just go to zero for a second, that's what I always say. Just go to zero for a second of your own biases, of your own opinions, and just simply listen. And then it's important what you do after you listen. Because if you listen, now I'll give you an example. When people, and they're still saying, talk about defunding police. Many people are afraid to use that word. So when I put in a resolution to say, I want to understand what you're saying, some of my colleagues are like, well, I really can't vote for the resolution. I get what you're saying, Pridge, but I can't vote for the resolution because you used the word. I used the word that the people used. I still believe, I have my own beliefs. I do believe in adding to and changing mindsets and having obviously I have been a great proponent of what?
Oh, I was just noticing your fresh butters on.
My what? You're going to interrupt me in the middle of I was on a whole train. The social workers and all that. I agree. So as I listened and got over the word, I could get to the point. But when we fight over, just over how somebody approaches it and never just listen. And that's what's important. Thanks, Stephanie. She said this program provides knowledge. So Mark interrupted me to talk about my Timbs.
Yeah, hold on, everybody. I'm getting ready to show y'all these
what?
fresh butters.
These are not fresh. I've had these forever.
Butters he got on there.
I've had these forever and a day. Are you kidding me? Anyway. Taste of Faith Food Pantry will host a mobile outreach drive-thru. Now listen, folks, when is the food pantry open?
Well, I don't know.
Is this a special one?
Cold, yeah.
Okay, February 17th, March 17th, 11 to 2. We are still feeding people through the pandemic twice a week. Now this one says, I hope just call the church for the days.
I think you can get the February 17th. But at least.
The February 17th, please, if you know of somebody in need. True Brother been working all the way through. That's what we've been working all the way through this pandemic because people needed us. People needed the kingdom to be active. So please come get it. And if it's not for you, we have a lot of people who come to the pantry picking up for other people. And we send it without question. We send it because I don't have time to be, nope, you need it, come and get it. Food Pantry. If you need more information, give us a call, 895-8222. So this is while supplies last, and we have fresh vegetables. That's why it's so important that you get it. Our member Alex would have a fit if we didn't have some fresh vegetables. They have vegetables over there. Come on, y'all. We got to get it. 594 Winslow. Oh, this is why does it say mobile outreach? But it's going to be mobile drive-through. Yeah. So we're still, even in the cold, we're driving through, and you can send somebody over to get it. And I want to thank Hobson's, the doctor. They are the hospital of dry cleaning. Take your clothes over there. Miss Hobson is waiting for you. I've said this over and over. We don't realize, and I've been going to local restaurants. I try to use as much. Oh, I thought you spelled sponsor wrong, but you didn't.
I was double taking.
You did. It looks funny on the screen. Hobson's Dr. Dry Cleaning, 874 East Delavan. And in your time of need, Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes, 3 locations to serve you. You know them, Peckham, Bailey, and Sycamore. This week alone, they served the Hill family, the Ivy family, and the Giles family. So listen, big shout out. They're not a sponsor. I'm just going to talk about them for a minute. Fat Cats. I finally got over the Fat Cats. And I told you, if you want to sponsor by feeding us, we'll talk about your food and eat it at the same time on the air. But you got to have the food. First of all, I got to order what I want. You can't just be bringing me, you bring me a sample dish. But don't bring me no octopus and no alligator, none of that. But I did have Fat Cats. That chicken was, we got some chicken cooking. And y'all know I'm on a little diet. on a lifestyle change. Well, no, temporary. But this was my day, and I ate that fried chicken, and I had macaroni and cheese, and I had mixed greens, and I had potato salad, and I had cornbread. Big shout out. Support local. Keep them in business. Until next week, we got to go. Power to the people. That you've been eating at that are local.
You gotta ask that question again.
Oh, tell me what are your favorite restaurants? I'm going to stay on for a second. Suggest some restaurants for me to go to, or even takeouts, because I want to know. Lifestyle change, yes. It's temporary. I got to get this. I got this COVID belly. I know y'all probably just here, or I'm really live now, right, with them. So, Jay, somebody, y'all give me some restaurants I need to go patronize. I've gone over to, I did a big spread about Ashanti's. Are they open still? They open right now during the pandemic? I gave the Northland. You got to go over and check out Reggie and them. Manna is, I had some chicken over a couple of days ago, and it was good. So when I talk about one place, it's not bringing down another place. I still like my place out on Hurdle, Je ne sais quoi. What'd you say? Vegan? No, but a Vegan Sunshine Eat on Jefferson? Yeah, so I have, I'm not and I'm going to be honest, I'm not a fan of plant-based food, but I'm going to tell you why. I've never had it. So you know how you say you don't like something, but you've never even nibbled a bite, but right. You've eaten there? So have you had something that was plant-based that was like consistency?
Hold on, you got to get in the mic or something.
Oh, they not hearing me?
No, they're not hearing him.
Oh, so he's talking about, come on, Facebook, give me some places to go visit, to go and eat that you've eaten at. You said, what does the food taste like?
I had a steak sub. She cooked it as if it was like a roast steak sub, so it tasted.
Did it taste like a steak sub? Mm-hmm. See, somebody would have to give it to me and not tell me, because my head, like Monica's been trying to get me to get, Mary Walker said it's delicious. It's good vegan. See, so Monica's been trying to get me to try seltzer water. Now, maybe if I didn't know it was seltzer water, but by the time it hit my tongue, I was like, I hate it. She gets the flavored stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody's saying it's good vegan. If you just brought it for me or gave me a piece without telling me, I probably would be okay. But to go in the store and like buy vegan, I'm like, Monique cooked some mushroom soup the other day. I was like, where's the protein? Is there some meat in here? She's like, it's little chicken cubes. But it really wasn't. It was the pieces of mushroom. And I'm fooling myself. I'm like, it's no meat in here. So, I mean, obviously vegan is healthier. Sam says shrimp and grits at Brothers on Hurdle. Wait a minute. Where is Brothers at? Is that
it's right next.
Is it up by that car, like across from Paula's up in that way? Paula's Donuts.
No, far down.
Is it the place where you can't sit? You just go in.
Yes.
Oh, I've been there. We've been there. We've been to Brothers. Yeah. But I've never had the shrimp and grits.
I had it. I can vouch with you, Brother Sam. The shrimp and grits were on point because it's actually a little different when you first get it because they actually make the grits in like little triangle pyramid cakes.
Uh-huh. So it's not. See, I like my grits like soupy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's cakes.
But it's fried. So you break it and it's that.
Got it. Yeah. Dramatic appetites, Jen says. Mary Walker says Lady P knows her stuff. No, I don't. She's gonna talk about it was Meatless Monday. Oh, no. Ain't no Meatless Monday in the Pridgen household. I want meat. I have meat with every.
I need my protein.
Now I have been eating salads and soup. I'm still almost 200 pounds. Today I weighed in at 174 point something.
Oh.
Sam says I heard on Crestwood. That's the one. That is good. What's Dramatic Appetites? Now, Jen gonna say Jen's fish fry. Laugh out loud. Now, when people start inboxing you talking about where the food at, All right, let's take care of these. Not only, and I was making the point, not only the local restaurants, but also people like Hobson's and locally, people who have stayed in our community, people who, again, when we're talking about that equity, these are people who suffered even more because they were already suffering now, and so at the end, they were suffering before, so they're suffering more now. And so to go out and to throw them $10, to go out and throw them $30, and she's Mary still talking about meatless Monday, to go out, that's important to them. Yep. And so when we have these sponsors like this, it's not just about saying it; it is about spending our money. It doesn't mean you can't go out. I'm not saying I eat everything in the inner city. If I'm out somewhere, I'll eat out somewhere else. But the point is, I want to make sure a great percentage of my money is spent with people who spend money in our community, who have businesses in our community, who go to church in our community, all that kind of stuff. I want to make sure. So that to me is so important. And, when I'll go in certain places, and this happens a lot to me, I'll go in and thank God for the mask. Maybe next week I'll talk about the benefits of the mask, because there's some benefits. Most of the time they don't recognize me, and that's good. Then there's times, you throw them your credit card or something like that, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, no, let me give you a discount. And I always say, no way. I pay my way. I'm not going to take a discount because I came in your spot. And then, good or bad, I'm going to probably talk about your spot. I'm not going to talk about it negatively. I'm not going to talk about it. It has to be something that happened really horrible. But even publicly, I ain't going at you like that because we tear each other down so quick. Then we'll go out to the suburbs and they'll mess up your order and you'll still go back. Mm-hmm. But then here it's like, I ain't never going back to there because I ordered lima beans and they gave me green beans. Well, I've had my order mixed up in other establishments too. And I still went back to that establishment if I like the food. Now, if I ain't like the food, I ain't coming back. If consistently your chicken tastes like fish, ooh, or your fish tastes like chicken because you cooking it all in that same grease, but I ain't gonna dog you either. I ain't gonna dog you. So I ain't gonna dog you. Jen is pushing Devon. I think you can go to his Facebook page, DM Monroe. I think I still got his. Sent some mason jars over with some banana pudding. That Lord, oh my goodness,
Oh God,
oh my goodness. I think it was that or something he had in mason jars. So whatever he had in mason jars, I told Monique make sure he take them back. Huh? Banana pudding. He might have some.
No, I gave up my.
Oh right, you're not eating that.
Yeah, I gave up my Starbucks because I realized it had too much sugar in it.
You know how you have a cheat day? I got a cheat week. Now I'm just gonna tell y'all what happened to me.
I cheat every day.
Do you really? Let me tell you what happened to me. Now, but see, you don't have this belly yet. You don't have a 50-year-old belly.
You got to come on up.
At the end of the day, here's my problem. I got this belly, right? So I've been eating soup and salad. And Monique has had to learn how to make all these different types of soups. And honestly, she's been doing very, very well. And the salad every day. The other day, I'm eating my salad, my second salad of the day. And I just had a breakdown, y'all. I'm going to tell y'all the truth. You can ask her. I walked out of that. I was in my home office. I walked out with that salad. I said, I can't take it no more. I can't take it. I can't eat another salad. I don't want no more greens. I'm tired. I got, and my son was sitting there. I said, go. He was trying to get out the room. I said, go downstairs and get me my chicken fingers. Get the fry, bring them upstairs out of the freezer. I got in that kitchen. I made my chicken fingers. I went and got me some cookies. I said, I can't take it.
I get it.
So the next day, though, I felt guilty. So I went and got me a prepared salad. DM Monroe, you can go to his Facebook page if he's cooking today. Bless you, too. All right, y'all, I got to go. And I'm not, what am I eating today? What y'all eating today? What are we eating? Since I'm on my cheat week, I might be on a cheat month because I decided to do exercises. I got an app.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to exercise my belly away.
See, you can eat meat. I eat whatever I want, but I work it off.
What exercise do you do for your belly, for your stomach?
Well,
Some crunches.
Well, it's so funny. I said crunches, and then I started doing something that wasn't a crunch in front of my kids. They was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm going to do crunches."
Crunches, sit-ups, planks. It's a lot of stuff.
well, so
So
but-
sit-ups to bring down your belly?
Well, in all fairness, so that'll work the muscle group. The diet and cardio is what gets rid of the flab on around your waist.
I don't care. I just want to be able to make sure I don't have to inhale to button my pants. Cause there be some Sundays, man. I'm sitting there like, come on, benediction. I can't breathe. I do have some pants that I can fit, but like jeans that you wash a lot.
Oh, I already
Dude,
know.
I went to put on a 32 the other day, and first of all, I'm pulling them up like they stretch pants. Then I get them right up to the top. And oh shucks, this ain't no joke. Yeah, these are, bud. I get them up to the top, and I'm in a hurry, and I gotta go, and I'm already running late. I did the old belt trick I put on a belt, then I had to inhale for the belt. Nah, I'm telling y'all the truth. I had to inhale for the belt, take the sweater, you pull the sweater over. Now, once your flap get over the belly, you good.
You good.
But once you get home, and it's like an
If you let it out,
explosion.
if you let it back out, like
It's an explosion. What's a prepared salad? Stephanie said. It's when you go to the store and they already have it ready. Like whatever it was already ready with the lettuce and all that. The dressing is in it.
Get him a waist trainer.
Now, they say Yummy's Waffle House in Niagara Falls. Anybody ever been there? Mm-mm. Yummy's Waffle House, 2065 River Road. Thanks, June.
and there's a new black soul food restaurant because one of our players' parents opened it in Niagara Falls, but I don't know the
We got to find out. We got to find out. Terry Wiley said, they told me in my last visit that I gained 12 pounds in 1 year. He said, if I don't stop eating like I'm doing, my stomach is going to look like my bald head.
I can't. Well, that's because
Well, look at my head. Like, I just quit everything this week. I think I had a meltdown. I have not shaved in 3 days. I have not taken off my hair. What are you talking about? Oh, I'm not growing back no beard. I'm not walking around with no gray. Oh, no. Monique loves the beard, but I think she loves for me to look old. That's why I think she set me up. There was a pair of glasses. She was like, "Oh, babe, I like those." I looked in the mirror. I was like, "I hate these glasses." I'm like, she don't want nobody looking at me, so she tell me to do stuff like wear those glasses.
somebody go get Shepherd.
Or to grow my beard back. I'm not growing that beard back.
Why not?
Because it is super gray. There's certain things I don't want to do. And I ain't going to tell y'all no story. Sometime my beard would be gray and sometime my beard would be black.
I don't think it to Beijing.
It's called Just for Men. I ain't going to tell y'all can play if you want to.
Hey,
I put the stuff on, you leave it on for 5 minutes, but I'm a light-skinned guy. So then it get in your skin if you don't take it off.
I know.
And now you got to scrub your skin so hard to get it off. Then it's in your nail. It was just, I like simplicity. You get up in the morning. Craig bought me this shaver that is so easy to use. And it doesn't get as close, but I could have got this off in like 10 minutes. But I got a week. I have a breakdown this week. I'm going to eat what I want to. If I feel like shaving for Sunday, I will. If I don't, I'm not. And I don't care. I'm not here to impress. The only time I am going to shave my head before it come in too much because you can see the little line there. Now, my cousin Tyra, she got these drops, and Monique said, why don't you get Tyra's drops? It'll probably grow your hair back. Huh? I'm not getting that fake painted edge up on.
hey,
June Shower says, I know you right, Bishop. Yes, Mary.
I can tell you. So my uncle Cromwell, he had a trick, and I didn't know. So I picked him up from the airport one time, and so he's like, "Hey, stop by CVS." So I'm like, "CVS, all right." And so he goes down the makeup aisle. So I'm like, "Why are you going down the makeup aisle?" So he gets back in the car and he pulls out mascara.
You telling a story.
He said, "This is an old school trick." So he's literally in the mirror of the car doing his mustache.
Oh, wait a minute.
I said,
No, but my beard, that's too much to do it with your beard.
But you can leave a hint of gray in.
They have something just for men that it'll give you a hint of gray. I just can't. You know what I don't like? When you put that stuff on, and then your gray start coming in, and you can see you're looking like, come on,
The new growth.
your new growth. I ain't got time to do all that. I
Happens
don't.
to me all the time.
I'm not. You put.
I've done it before.
You put product. You put product in your beard.
Absolutely.
You put product.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm jealous of somebody. Let's just be honest. People act like they don't get jealous. I'm jealous of somebody. My next door neighbor. Bishop got a head full of hair. He got a head full of hair. He just come out the house, hey, with all his hair. That's really his. Bishop, I'm jealous of you. I ain't saying no names. One in Christ. I ain't saying no names. I'm jealous of you. So anyway, I'm having a week, so I am going to eat fried fish today. I'm eating fried fish. I don't care whether y'all like it or not. I'm eating fried fish. I ain't saying where I'm going. I don't know where I'm going to go today.
I don't know.
I haven't been to Genesis Choir in a while.
I was thinking about them.
They don't like when I abandon them because I don't abandon them. It's just getting on that side of town and all that is so tough for me. But but I am going wherever I eat. I'm eating from some people in this community. So I might have to get Devon to make me some dessert this week. I think I am because why do people say they put their foot in it? That's the nastiest phrase in the world. Just imagine.
See somebody's foot.
I say they put their heart in it. They put their heart in it, not their foot. All right, y'all. I got to go. I've been silly enough, but it's been fun. I always enjoy everybody and enjoy the time. But I did have a meltdown this week. It is the truth. And so, y'all, I see how I look on Sunday. We'll see. By the way, True Bethel people, next week we should have these big TVs up so that we can get more people in the building for church. So we're going to try that. Fish fry Friday at home.
If you let your beard grow, you should come let me shape it up.
You know what I was about to say? I ain't letting no man shape up my beard. The barbers do it all the time. Ain't that a trip? How quickly? Nah. I'm not letting you shape up my beard. He always want to change something. Y'all want me? I ain't gonna go off on no tangent.
He can go ahead. It's Friday.
He gonna go and come in my office. Oh, while we doing the building, why don't we change your cabinets because one of them don't close good? I was like, it's my office. If I'm okay with my office, then let my office be my office. That's why I don't have a beard, because I don't feel like taking the time every morning to make sure it's this. But see, you're not gonna take me down the path. Then I'll be getting manicures like y'all too. I'm not doing that. I like my little nubby nails.
Hey,
I like them. I like my nubby nails. I'm not getting no. They're not gonna be shining. Both you and my grandson, just a shining.
Hey, listen.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I like simplicity.
My cuticles are hurting right now.
That's a shame. My cuticles never hurt. I like simplicity. You get up in the morning, you get dressed. I ain't got time to be getting up 2 hours early. I barely want to get up anytime. So I definitely don't want to get up because I gotta make sure my beard in a V and my life too busy. No. Terry Wiley said, amen. Me and Terry, do Terry get his nails done? I don't think Terry get his nails done. So. Good, Terry. Me and you, we ain't got time for that. You get up, shave your stuff, and that's it. That's it. I don't have time. We got somebody on here right now. They must be at work. They're like, I can't listen, but I'm reading lips. Oh, gosh, this is crazy. All right, y'all. Terry says, stay plain. That's why I'm the plain person. I don't throw much out. I say it's got to break down for me to get rid of it. Do you hear me? It's got to break down. I don't have any more box TVs, but I still have TVs from when my kids were little. The first flats, I still got. If it ain't broke and it ain't busted, I ain't trying to keep up with nobody. I like simply, and other people like more detail, and that's cool. I'm just a simple guy.
But I tell you what is funny. because like you're absolutely right. But then when it breaks, you're like, I need it tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Well, first of all, we got the new screens for the overflow, and they are how big?
85 inches.
85 inches. It brought me life to see TV on that. He gonna spit. You gonna mess up about this new board. I went in that back. That TV is so big for next Sunday. It messed up my brain. So now I really want the 85-inch TV. I want it so bad. And y'all got it at, well, yeah, I could say Best Buy at like $1,000 or something. This $1,000 is burning a hole in my pocket. I got an extra $1,000 from a couple things, and I was going to put it in the stock market because we have decided. But I got to have. I don't think she listened or she would have commented, so I could say it. I got to go home and have a conversation. You sooner or later you gonna spend. I got to have a conversation. Because I already know half of the Northampton Union, which Mark says my kids have their own union.
Local. They are local.
They have their own union when they want something. So I know half of them going to agree with me. Mm-hmm. Let's get the 85-inch. Now, I'm not telling y'all to go get no 85-inch. I had some extra money that I was going to put in the stock market. That TV gave me life.
Yeah, don't get it. Don't get this 85-inch TV if you got the following circumstances.
Yeah, come on, tell the truth.
If your living room or bedroom is only about a 10 by 10.
Don't. But mine is. My living room is the living room that I want to put this in now. Everybody knows where I live, right? The big room that used to be a sanctuary, I've got what I got in there, 50-inch probably, I don't know, on the wall, right? But we don't go in the big room a lot. We only go in the big room on holiday, people come by, right? So we don't go in there a lot. So we're in the smaller living room all the time. Mm-hmm. Now there's a bigger living room upstairs outside of our bedroom. If I had my choice, I'd put the 85 there because then I could just lay in my bed and look over into the other living room. But the living room that the union uses is downstairs. But it's small. So it's going to take up probably most of the wall.
Well, listen. So I say this really jokingly. So as I started the opening of the show, when I was doing firework, when I got to Buffalo, and I was in a certain project housing, and I would walk in some apartments, and it would literally be like an 85, 90-inch TV.
Oh, see,
But a mattress on the floor and a video game system.
Oh yeah, that's young people.
Like that would be the whole apartment.
But and Monique says, and my little cousin Al says, you just want because I love the projects. If I lived in the projects, I have a family that they live in public housing. When I tell you, their house, they got chandeliers. I ain't lying. I don't have no problem. And they got the best heat in the world.
Absolutely.
When I say the best heat, I'm so cold in my house. I'm cold. My grandmother said she was never moving out of public housing because of the heat. We in Buffalo.
I walked in some of them. They were hot. And they still had the nerve to have the oven on. Oh, and open.
I ain't mad at you. When I tell you I ain't mad at you. So I really do want this 85. And y'all know I'm deep from the project, so I can talk about the projects. Al gonna say he was only there on the weekend. I don't care. When I was born, the first place we lived was the Perry Projects. Then my grandmother lived there, my uncles lived there. That's where I played. That's where I grew up. I don't care. I love it. When I retire, shoot. When you ain't got them, and you got to pay heat, don't put it past me. And I know everybody over there, I can understand that. I got a 75. Then I went to Sam's June and got an 86. So I was in Sam's, but the Sam's 86 cost more than what it was at Best Buy. Because June don't start. I'm telling you. And somebody just said Super Bowl. By the way, I'm not watching the Super Bowl. I'm not interested at all.
What?
I really am not interested in the Super Bowl this year.
As again, when I said when we open this show, we don't talk a lot of sports because I'm the sports guy.
Yeah, I don't. So what do I want to watch Tom Brady for again? I don't know. I am not, and the Bills ain't there. I'm gonna be. the times I'd usually watch the Super Bowl is when we could gather. And I would always go to a friend's house and we all watch it together. I barely watch it. I'm always over in the pizza. That's where I'm at, or over on the DJ booth.
I'm getting ready to put my order in
Oh,
for
no.
wings and salad today, so I can pick it
Do you
up
think
on
all the
Sunday.
TVs will be gone before Super Bowl?
Nah.
No.
You think they still gonna have some?
Yeah.
I got to go home and have a discussion. How did you get it here? How did you get it here?
I had to get a van.
You had to get a van? So why wouldn't you have bought me one of those TVs while we had the van? Gosh, what am I going to do? Put it on top of the Tesla?
You ain't getting it in that.
It ain't going to fit in the Tesla?
No.
I got a pickup truck, but the battery's
Fit
dead.
in that.
Yes, it will. On the back of the pickup?
I
He
had a
took his
truck.
pickup.
They told me to come back with a van.
Are you serious? It won't fit flat down. Oh, boy.
And then, like I said, and so my other requirement is you need a wall strong enough to hold.
I'm not putting it on the wall.
Oh, well, okay. Then.
I've got the stand. I got a stand, a flat stand.
Oh, okay.
And then, but the only thing, it probably won't fit on this little turnstile thing I have. So I'm gonna have to put it on the thing.
He gonna be stingy.
Who?
You?
Why?
No kids able to watch the TV. Nah.
Oh, see, as long as I ain't home, they can watch it. My kids know when I walk in the door what time it is. They just hand me the remote. Like I'll go, like I have a whole routine. I come in, I go in my closet, I change my clothes, and then when I come back up front, oh, it's over. They know. There's like they got rooms. They have their own game room now. They go. The TV and the remote belong to Papa. Y'all better ask somebody.
Oh, I already know.
Listen to Terry Wiley. You got me thinking I got a Best Buy card with nothing on it.
Hey, well, Terry, I will send you the. Hold on, let me get the right shot. Terry, I will send you. The
I'm
link
on longer
if you
than I should
buy a couple of us, and we'll pay you back.
What?
Terry
Oh,
do
for
that?
I said,
TVs?
since his
Terry
card
buy
is
it?
empty, you buy a couple of them, and we'll pay you back.
Did I ever tell the story about the Best Buy TVs that somebody bought before with the credit card they found?
I think we did.
Yeah, because when he just said that, it reminded me.
how depressed we all were when we had to take them to where.
Yeah, so this guy
Were you on
finds
that,
he finds a credit card, and he goes to Best Buy, and he buys all these TVs. This is a true story. And then he turns around, and he had a day of like, that was wrong, and he was like, I got to find somebody to help me get these TVs back, and he calls me through somebody else, and he says I can't go turn them back in because they're gonna arrest me. So my tail does. And first, when we took them back, Best Buy didn't even want to take them. They're like, oh, we don't know where they came from.
Wait, is that the day we had to get the U-Haul? and
We
put
got the
those-
U-Haul. We finally convinced them, take these daggone TVs. And they were able to contact the person with the credit card. He couldn't believe it. That's, first of all, that he had dropped it. Second of all, that somebody used it. But third of all, that somebody was like, this is wrong. And then turned them back. That was like a proud day for me to be able to take those TVs back, and for that person to say like, that was wrong.
Now Best Buy should have donated them
They should have donated them.
back to us.
No, we turned. I ain't want no. don't donate. Don't give me nothing. Now, if Terry Wiley want to donate a TV,
He said, "Okay, I will."
Payments?
I'm a grown man. I don't ask no man for nothing. I go get my own. Jesus lives. That's right. That man saw Jesus and turned it around. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. And I have no. I would trust that man now more than I would some church people. Because that man turned it around, and I appreciate that. I hope he ain't in jail or something for something else. But he did. Yeah, I'm sincere about that. I was really proud that day to figure out a way to get those big screens back. Now these guys, they was like, "You sure we gotta take these TVs back?" I'm like, "Yes, we do." All right, y'all. I've been on longer than I should have. Talk to y'all later. Peace.